The town of Blackwood was as idyllic as it came, nestled in a verdant valley under the watchful eyes of silent ancient mountains. Its quaint charm was consistent in every corner, every cobblestone street, and every cheerfully painted house. Every dwelling, that is, except one, the Victorian house at 79 Maple Street. The house stood out with its blue shutters, shapely eaves, and a formidable charm that only comes from centuries of existence. The house had played silent witness to the passage of time. It had seen families come and go, playing host to countless joys, sorrows, hopes, and disappointments. It had stood through thunderstorms and sunny days alike, a stalwart guardian of history. But now, for the first time, it was silent and devoid of life. A sign stood before it, declaring the house for rent. The townsfolk, though friendly, kept a cautious distance. A whisper of unease had found its way among the people, and tales began to spread. Tales of strange noises during moonless nights, whispers of shifting shadows in the silence of the dusk, and talk of an almost palpable chillness that hung around the house. It was in this atmosphere of hushed apprehension that Thomas, a young writer new to Blackwood, stepped into the picture. Oblivious to the town's hushed whispers, he saw 79 Maple Street as a beacon of inspiration, a refuge where he could pen his thoughts undisturbed. He rented the house, moved in, and for a few days everything seemed perfectly normal. Thomas immersed himself in his work, enjoying the solitude of the house. However, as days turned into weeks, Thomas began to sense that the house was revealing another side to him. He would often be woken up by the muffled notes of a piano drifting through the house, or by soft, untraceable laughter that seemed to hang in the air. The tranquility of the house began to unravel, making way for an uncanny mystery that stirred the writer within Thomas. Rather than feeling fear, Thomas was intrigued. He began to explore the house's past, rummaging through local records and library archives, seeking out stories from the elderly townsfolk, and soon he stumbled upon a name: Madeline. She was a pianist of great renown and had lived in the house almost a century ago. Her story was cut short by her abrupt disappearance on a stormy night, and her fate remained a mystery to this day. Having discovered Madeline's tale, a sense of connection began to form within Thomas. He started seeing the strange occurrences not as disturbances, but as remnants of Madeline's presence, a spectral tenant he shared the house with. This understanding transformed his fear into fascination. One day, Thomas placed a sheet of piano music on the old grand piano in the corner of the living room. He woke up the next day to find the sheet moved and the music rearranged. He played the revised notes and found them hauntingly beautiful. It was as if a master had corrected his version. It was the same with the melodies he would play and leave unfinished, only to hear them completed in the quiet midnight, soft and hauntingly beautiful. Thomas started speaking to Madeline, sharing his thoughts and stories, treating her as a muse, an invisible companion in his solitary existence. The once eerie house began to feel less lonely and more like a home, a place filled with an odd sense of warmth and familiarity. The spectral presence, once a chilling dread, became a comforting resonance that he would look forward to every day. His writing thrived. The stories he wrote were enchanting, filled with depth and emotion, almost as if they were imbued with Madeline's essence. Life at 79 Maple Street had developed a rhythm of its own. The townsfolk noticed the change in Thomas, his content demeanor, his frequent smiling. The house, too, seemed to have shed its eerie aura and was becoming a part of the town again. However, one stormy night, while working on a new story, Thomas discovered something unusual. As the wind howled outside, mimicking the weather on the night of Madeline's disappearance, a loose floorboard near the grand piano caught his attention. Upon prying it open, he discovered a hidden compartment that contained a weathered manuscript, a musical composition titled Madeline's Farewell. The realization hit him hard. Could this be the final piece of music Madeline composed before her disappearance? Intrigued and trembling with anticipation, Thomas placed the sheet on the piano, ready to bring Madeline's last composition to life. As he played the opening bars of Madeline's Farewell, Thomas could sense a shift in the atmosphere. The notes were a poignant mixture of longing and sorrow, as though Madeline herself was communicating her tragic tale through the keys of the old piano. As Thomas played, the storm outside seemed to respond. Each crash of thunder punctuated the music, amplifying the sense of drama and tension. The flickering candles cast long, dancing shadows on the walls, creating an eerie backdrop for the melancholic melody that filled the room. Suddenly, the house fell silent. The wind ceased its howling, and the piano keys quieted under Thomas's touch. In the unsettling calm that followed, a new sound filled the room, a woman's soft sobbing. The sound was unmistakable, and it seemed to emanate from the piano itself. Heart-pounding, Thomas continued to play, the room filling with the poignant harmony of Madeline's music intertwined with her spectral sobs. It was an otherworldly duet, a soulful exchange between the past and the present, the living and the dead. This ethereal symphony continued until the final note faded into the silence of the house. As the last echo of Madeline's farewell faded, a calm settled over 79 Maple Street. The storm outside had ceased, leaving behind a peaceful serenity. The specter's sobbing had stopped, replaced by a tranquility that seemed to envelop the house. In the following days, Thomas noticed a change. The nocturnal piano music ceased, and the house seemed to rest in an unbroken silence. The eerie occurrences that once punctuated his nights were no longer. It was as if Madeline, after sharing her farewell, had finally found peace. Despite the strange quiet, Thomas found himself at peace too. His experience with the unseen tenant had not only filled his life with an extraordinary tale, but also changed his perspective. He no longer saw 79 Maple Street as a haunted house, but rather a bridge between the past and the present, between this world and the next. And so, life continued at 79 Maple Street, but now with a quiet tranquility. The townsfolk noticed the change as well, and slowly the whispers and rumors ceased. The Victorian house was no longer viewed with fear, but with respect and a kind of awe. As for Thomas, he would always remember Madeline, the unseen tenant, who taught him to find beauty in the uncanny, to accept the mysteries of life and beyond, and to cherish the magic that exists in the intersection of different worlds. The house at 79 Maple Street, once a symbol of the unknown, had now become a testament to coexistence, understanding, and the powerful bond of music and memories.